Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All Things Football. Unfortunately, Italy won the Euros. I mean, it wasn't the intro I expected to be doing a few days ago, but we're going to have to move on from that. I know for a fact that a lot of you cried, as I did, when Italy's Donnarumma saved the final penalty. Commiserations go out to the England squad, all the England fans, the staff that put a lot of effort, blood, sweat, and tears into this tournament. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring it home this year, but the World Cup is only 1 year away, as it is going to be held in Qatar 2022. I think it's during the winter. All I can say for that is we have a handful of potentially world-class players on the rise and on the way up. We're going to get more club football next season. So hopefully by the time the World Cup rolls around, our squad will be even better and we'll be able to go one step further. Because if you think about it, the semi-final in the World Cup 2018, final Euro 2020 is destiny. It's bound to happen. But we will be moving on from the Euros during this episode as Manchester United's pre-season kicks off next Sunday against Derby at Pride Park. Obviously, Wayne Rooney is the Derby County manager at the moment, so I guess that might be a reason for us playing them. We're going to be speaking about squad news. We've got some injury updates already. We're going to be speaking about Rashford, Sancho. Hopefully, we're going to be speaking positively about Varane because that deal is looking very close. We're going to be announcing the Euro 2020 Fantasy League winner and the announcement of a new league for the new Fantasy Premier League, which will again have a prize for the winner, which is just going to be the same prize. It's going to be a jersey of your choice. So, that'll be next year when the Fantasy League ends. And if you have any questions in the comments down below, feel free to ask. But Ibs, you were at the match. I know you watched a penalty save from Donnarumma. Sealed Italy's win, but how was it for you? How did you feel?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It was a mix of emotions because Jordan Pickford literally just saved Jorginho's penalty, and that kept us in the game at 3-2. So then the final pen was on Saka's shoulders. The whole nation, all the pressure on Saka, the 19-year-old stepped up, and it was a save from Donnarumma, and they won 3-2 on pens. But I can't really say too much because obviously there was previous 2 pens before Saka that were missed, which were pretty bad pens. Or I guess Sancho's one, I think it was a decent height for Donnarumma to save, and obviously Rashford wasn't even on target. But then aside from that, England didn't deserve to win. I think, at one point Italy had 71%
possession.
71% possession.
That was late on in the game as well, by the way. It wasn't early.
England didn't really deserve to win that game, if I'm totally honest. But yeah, you did say in the intro, we got to the semi-final of the World Cup in 2018. We got to the final of the Euros this year and the World Cup next year. Why can't we go on and to win it? I mean, a few years ago, France hosted the Euros in their country. They came runners-up as well. 2018, they went on to win the World Cup. So, based on that logic, England are going to win the World
Cup. It's coming home. Might as well start playing the music now because it's coming home. I mean, I was watching the match. I obviously watched the whole thing. I was at work, but I was lucky enough to be able to watch the match at the same time. One thing I can say is that that match just stunk of the Croatia semi-final that we had at the World Cup. I think we scored too early. If that Luke Shaw goal comes in the 46th minute instead of the 2nd minute, I genuinely think we go on to win that game. But one thing I don't like about England when they get into high pressure situations is that the first thing they do is just sit back and drop back, which just invites pressure. And against an Italian side who are going to pass it around the pitch with speed, it's not the same as passing it to your left back and then passing it back to centre back and all the way back across the back four. Italy pass it with speed, they pass it with sharpness, and they will break the lines quickly before you can even turn around and react. They're already behind you. Insigne's on the ball. Chiesa, who had a fantastic game, is on the ball driving at your centre back or full back. England made it tough for themselves. Yes, obviously getting a goal and going up gives you confidence. It gives you the advantage, obviously. But I just feel like it was a matter of scoring too early because the second we scored, it was Italy, all the way until the final whistle. And to be honest, we were pretty lucky to even make it to penalties because we only had 2 shots and 1 on target. And that was the same time as the 71% possession to 29 came up, and it was quite late on in the game. But there was so many negatives, but at the same time, so many positives that you could take from the game. Kyle Walker, I think, had a decent game. Luke Shaw had a decent game. Maguire and Stones. Maguire more so than Stones, I think, had a decent game. And of course, Pickford, I think, over the last just before the World Cup,
amazing. Yeah, he's been great.
You could see when he went to Everton from Sunderland, you could see he was a new keeper, rookie. He was a hothead, made some great saves, but I think there was a bit of arrogance there, and he'd make some silly mistakes. But I think since the World Cup in 2018, I've seen a level of maturity that I didn't expect to see from him. You can definitely tell he's been having I want to say therapy session, but I might be wrong, to help with his
anger.
Yeah, and it's definitely helping, because there's a clip that's going around of him talking to himself before Jorginho's penalty. That, I think, him saying no problem was a bad boy move. If he obviously didn't save it, then it would be used against him in a different way. But because he said that and he saved it, I think it's just gonna boost him up for the next England camp.
I think he's number one for the next few years.
Yeah.
After this performance, this tournament, it solidified his place. Yes, even if Dean Henderson is number one for Man U, I feel like because Jordan Pickford has done it in the World Cup, he's done it in the Euros. Next year is the World Cup. So say if the World Cup wasn't next year and it was in like 2 years' time, maybe Pickford would be competing with Henderson. But because of these last two tournaments, and especially how the World Cup is only next year, unless something drastic happens to Pickford, well, I think Pickford's place is solidified.
Yeah, I think you're right. I couldn't agree with that there. Before this tournament started, I would have laughed in your face if you said that, but you have to give credit where credit's due. Jordan Pickford has been immense this tournament, only conceded 2 goals, won the Golden Glove, conceded the least amount of goals, actually. And of course, had some heroic saves in the penalty shootout. It's actually, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard a few times that he was going to be the 6th penalty taker. And I think the order of the penalty takers is something that we really need to discuss, because I have a lot of problems with it. And it eventually, I mean, it all goes back down to Southgate. And he did take the blame, but at the same time, the damage has been done. You can't just be like, yeah, it was my fault. Your mistakes cost us the game. I know we probably shouldn't have won the game in normal time, but anything that happens before the penalty shootout is out of the window. We've seen teams get absolutely annihilated in normal time and win a penalty shootout. Same thing could have happened with us if we picked the right players. And when I say the right players, I mean the experienced players, the players that have taken penalties for their actual club, Raheem Sterling, instead of Bukayo Saka, who 100% was picked off the wave of positivity he's received over the tournament. There's no other reason, because he's never taken a penalty in a senior appearance for anybody. So I think maybe their emotion was involved a little bit too much.
I don't get why Saka was actually chosen. Obviously, you mentioned Sterling taking penalties for a club. Yes, he's missed for his club, but at least he's taken penalties for his club.
Yeah.
I understand not picking Grealish, actually, because even though Grealish is a leader, I understand why he probably wasn't picked, because when did he last take a pen?
Over 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I guess Southgate didn't trust him because of that. Maybe he thought Saka might have more confidence because of, obviously, he said he's been playing well in the tournament. So
Gareth, do you know what it is? Gareth Southgate is the one manager at the tournament you expect to know about the pressures of a penalty. He was the one who missed the penalty in 96. He's going to be the one person in that staffing coaching setup that's going to think to himself, I've been in this situation before. I know the pressure that Bukayo is going to be under. I know the pressure that Marcus and Jaden are going to be under. I can't put this on them. I have experienced players on the pitch. John Stones, he's taken penalties before. Not in official matches in pre-season, but it's still a penalty. Bukayo Saka's never taken a senior penalty before.
That's true.
I've seen John Stones dink it, top bins. I've seen him smash it. I've seen Raheem Sterling put it in the back of the net. Maguire's penalty was amazing. I don't think he should have taken off Henderson for Rashford, because that substitution was for a penalty. I know Henderson missed the World Cup, but he's a captain.
Recently missed a pen in the in the friendly as well.
You know what? I don't care. If you're gonna take off Henderson, I mean, if you're gonna put
Saka should
on
have played.
Rashford, it's just the timing of it as well. I had so many problems, and it's making me itch because I'm getting annoyed again, and I don't want to get upset or agitated, but when Rashford and Sancho came on, I'm thinking in my head, this is for penalties, but why not 15 minutes earlier?
Yeah, they were warming up for so long.
Yeah.
And they come on. What's the point? They could have actually come on earlier and had an impact on the game.
Exactly.
How do you know if Rashford didn't take a shot and he could have scored?
Exactly.
Oh, Sancho could have got an assist, but they came on just for pens.
Spot on. We were camping. I think that game, I mean, extra time at least was perfect for the counter-attack because Italy was so far up the pitch. We were so deep. You have Rashford and Sancho, you have fresh legs, and you have Harry Kane, obviously, who's one chance. That's all it takes for him to get a goal. You have Rashford on the left, playing on the counter-attack, one ball over the top against a tired, slow defense, and you have Rashford, Sancho, and Kane. I mean, that substitution had to have been done in the first half of extra time. And Sterling as well. It was silly, but you've played football. I've played football. You know, even before you kick off, you're like, "Oh, ref, let me get a touch of the ball. Let me feel the ball." Sancho's first touch of the ball with his feet was the kick that he took the penalty with. He might have touched it with his hands before, but you can't expect a 21-year-old who's had very, very few minutes at this tournament to come on cold as hell and take a penalty that is going to decide whether we win or lose the Euros. It's ridiculous. And I don't know if I said it to you or someone else, but that again goes back to giving people minutes earlier on in the tournament. Because if Rashford and Sancho came on with 1 minute left, but they'd played 180 minutes throughout the course of the past couple of weeks, it might have been a little bit different. But they hadn't played.
They were low on confidence.
Yeah,
particularly Rashford. He hardly played this whole tournament, and to now come on, take a crucial pen. You can see by his run up, he just didn't. That's not what he usually does, or he doesn't always do that. You saw the one against PSG quarterfinals where he literally just ran straight top bins. This one,
I think I'm gonna have to check that at the end of the episode. But I've seen Rashford do that stutter a few times.
Yeah, he has done it before, and he has scored in the Prem doing that. But it's the fact that he's changing up his techniques, and he just didn't look confident when he went up to the ball or when he started doing his run up.
For me, penalties that include stutters or like triple steps, whatever, I always feel like it just takes away the natural momentum that you have when you're running up to take a penalty. You see, when Pogba does it, you just don't get the same power. You just don't get the same precision, I think. And one thing I noticed as well, I screaming at the time when they showed the slowdown replay of Rashford's penalty. He didn't look at the ball. He wasn't looking at. He didn't look at the ball.
He miskicked the ball.
He definitely miskicked.
He was staring at the keeper.
Yeah, and he sent the keeper the wrong way. Fair enough, it's what you want to do, but you have to look at the ball, man. I know you're a professional footballer. He would have taken that penalty 1,000 times in training and put it in the back of the net 999 times. I'm guarantee you that. He even tweeted it out himself or Instagram, whatever. He can score that penalty in his sleep. He can score with his eyes closed. But it just goes back down to the manager. You can't not play someone for the whole tournament and then bring them on to take a penalty in the final. Doesn't work like that. I know you're professional, you're elite, you're an elite sportsman, you're one of the 23 best players in the country because that's why you're there. But confidence is real. Football is these are human beings just like us. I wouldn't be able to do that.
60,000 fans in the stadium.
Yeah.
Like 30 million watching on TV, and then even more worldwide. So the pressure is real. It's as real as you're saying. So it's not a computer game. It's not like you can just easily put it in the corner.
Exactly.
Even though you said they're professionals, they should be able to do that. But when you have the pressure, like your legs probably shaking, you just can't see it. But he's having to control all these emotions. And yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's why I just got a feel for them, man. I especially feel sorry for Jadon Sancho. Honestly, the most out of all three of them, because he's had all the hype. He's had all the people saying he needs to start. Why isn't he starting? I've been one of those advocates. Why isn't he playing? Just completed his transfer to Man United. He's going to be criticised regardless of whether he scored or not because he's now a Manchester United player. He's kind of coming out of the cold. Not many people will have seen him Yeah, I mean, not as many people would have seen him as Rashford or Saka, and he was the. I don't know. It just didn't seem right him taking a penalty. He might have taken a penalty, but I've never seen him take a penalty in his senior career. At least I just feel sorry for him because it's going to be tough, and we're going to see how mentally tough these guys are.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. I mean, Saka, 19 years old, the guy who carried Arsenal throughout the whole season, and then also played well for England. Deciding penalty he missed, and yeah, it's going to be tough for them to bounce back, but I'm sure they will. I'm sure they're all going to have great seasons. When obviously Rashford's now injured, we've heard he might be out for 3 months to recover from his surgery. But yeah, when he's back, you can expect the best from him as well. So they'll all do well next season, I'm sure. But if we're going back to the beginning of the game, the lineups, because I was at work, I didn't see this, but I think I saw on the TV screen the national anthem, and then going along, I saw Kane, I saw Sterling. I was thinking, yeah, I saw Shaw, Maguire, who else? Walker. And then I'm seeing Trippier. I was like, oh, 5 at the back. Why are we playing 5 at the back? And just Kane and Sterling and Mount. And I just knew that this wasn't good. The lineup, I don't know why we're playing 3 at the back when they play 4 at the back. It's just, I don't know.
Do you know what it was? That Southgate, maybe overthinking, but thinking, I just don't want to concede instead of we're going out to score. Because, yeah, we scored. I'm happy we scored. It worked because maybe Italy weren't expecting us to be on it from the start the way we were. It was literally the second minute of the game, and it was one wing back to the other. So I guess, yeah, cool. If you're going to play 5 at the back, because that's what we were doing, we were not playing 3 at the back the way we were defending, it was 5 at the back. If you're going to play that, if you're going to start that, stick with it. What I think the mistake was, I think there was 2 mistakes. One, changing it from the semi-final to this game. I know it worked against Germany, but Italy are a different side. They don't play 3 at the back like we were trying to mirror and counteract against Germany. And again, they're a better side. What you can't then do is when you're getting like actually pushed back into your own box, sitting on the edge of your own box and trying to make do with whatever scraps you can deal with, is change the formation. I can't see how that works in any match. A championship match, a Swiss League match, that doesn't work. It rarely works. And I think that's the mistake that was made, along with Mason Mount playing. Not to drag him under the bus, but he had a stinker of a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, England fans we've been quite crying out for Grealish to start. So many, and then he only brings them on in like late in the game, and then we're still playing 3 at the back at that point of time. It still just didn't make sense. You have people like Sancho, Foden, Rashford on the bench, but you're only playing Kane and Sterling and Mount. How are you expected to score goals? Kane didn't have any service. It didn't work. It just didn't work.
See, do you know what it is? Mount is, yes, he's a good player, one of England's good youngsters. But at this tournament, how did he justify a selection in the final? That's what I'm more confused about, because you had Grealish, comes off the bench, started once, I think, maybe, and he has a couple of assists. He's proven that he can create chances in the few minutes he's on the pitch. So why not start him in the final? You start Mount, who's 0 goals or assists, I believe, at this tournament. Hasn't actually played very well. Sky Sports gave him a 4 for the match or the tournament. He didn't have a good tournament. Same with Foden, but Foden had been dropped. You see, I think there comes a point in a manager's, I don't even know what the word is. There comes a point where a manager has to say, I know you're one of my favorites, but you actually just haven't been performing, so I can't start you.
I have players all over again.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're very, very similar in the way they operate, the way they select teams, the way they're very stubborn with their selections. Southgate has been pleasantly stubborn, but I think that was just a step too far. Sancho, better player in general than Mason Mount. Grealish, better player in general than Mason Mount, with goal contributions in this tournament. He's had better performances when he's been on the pitch. I'm not saying Mason Mount's a bad player. He just didn't have the best tournament, and I'm sure he'll know that as well. I'm sure he wanted to do more for the team or contribute more to the cause. Maybe if he was playing better throughout the tournament, we might have won it because he was playing in the final. But I just don't think that was the right selection. And there are a number of reasons. There is a number of reasons that cost us the game, and I believe that was one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to dwell on this game too much because obviously we lost Italy. We have to give them full credits. They were the best team in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned it in the past few episodes. They have the best manager in the tournament, Roberto Mancini, proving it. And they have the best defense. Chiellini, I think, is one of the most underrated defenders. And yes, I know you're going to say.
Yeah.
And also Bonucci as well. Their backline was, or those two in particular, were one of the best, alongside Maguire as well. But yeah, they deserved to win. They were very tactical in what they did. The fouls, as we mentioned last episode, we expected them, and it happened.
I've never seen someone get dragged back so hard. It looked dangerous. Like it looked like assault. It wasn't a red card for anyone thinking it was. It wasn't a red card.
Wait, why is it not red?
Covering defender and you're on the halfway line.
Okay.
It's way too far out. Plus, as I said, it was a covering defender. The only thing I can say it might have been a red card for was just dangerous play, because that was dangerous.
Like, that is so dangerous.
I'm surprised.
I couldn't believe it.
Like, you could see him on the replay. Yeah, Saka got past him. The first thing Keelan looked at was his neck, and and you saw him do this with his hands. It was like he was trying to find a t-shirt, and then when he got it, he just dragged him, and it looked painful. But obviously, he stayed on the pitch, and he won. Maybe Jorginho should have been sent off for his stamp on Grealish. I do believe that was reckless play. If he got a red for that, I don't think he could have had an argument for it. But I mean, Italy are a dirty team. We know they're a dirty team, but you got to do anything you can to win a football match.
Yeah, it worked. That's what you have to do. And now they're celebrating. It went to Rome. It didn't come home. But it's coming home next year.
Qatar.
Yeah, I think we should move on to the club talk, because now, as you can see, I switched back to my Man U top.
It's time to
talk about club football.
Time to resume.
Starts this year.
We're going to resume our abusive relationship.
Season starts on Sunday. So, we're playing Derby County on Sunday. Did you say Bruno Fernandes will be back?
I doubt it. When did Portugal? Was it a week and a half ago that they got knocked out?
Yeah, probably like almost 2 weeks ago.
I believe Manchester United give their players 3 weeks after the tournament, so I don't think he'll be back. I wouldn't want to see him against. I think all of these guys, they need as much time off as possible. Leave them out of the playing squad for as long as you can, without letting their fitness drop too much and without letting them, get too lazy. Just leave them out for as long as possible, because I don't want to be playing Leeds on the first day, but Bruno Fernandes has already played 5 games. I don't want to see that. We need our players to be as fit and as sharp as possible. Give them like 2 or 3 games, maybe half a match in those matches, but I don't want to see him on Sunday, even if he's available. I don't think he is though.
Yeah, I think the season begins. What day is it? August 14th. 14th
begins on
because the Community Shield is on the 7th of August, I think. Obviously, that's going to be between, is it Leicester and Man City?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, transfers. Man United soon going to announce Sancho, probably on Thursday, I think. We're in talks with Varane. I think talks.
Real Madrid have allowed us to speak to him directly now, so that we're definitely going to sign him. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. Probably in a couple of weeks. But
now, I think just a CDM. I think if defense wins you titles, so Maguire and Varane, they can win us a title. But then it's about what's in front of them, because Fred can assist you, give you a title, but then he can also assist opposition, and that's the problem with Fred. So we need to sort the CDM role out. And Pogba is apparently going to decide his future in the next week or 2. So PSG potentially could buy him this summer. That's the only problem, or obviously he just runs down his contract, which I probably wouldn't mind.
Nah, I'd want him to leave for money. I don't want to lose Pogba for free because you miss out on about 45 million. And apparently Camavinga's progress depends on what Pogba does. Because if Pogba goes to PSG, we get Camavinga. I think if Pogba stays, Camavinga goes to PSG. I think that's how it's going to work out. Yeah.
But then Camavinga's not a Pogba replacement. We still need to buy someone as well as buying Camavinga.
Yeah, but do you think the board knows that? Do you think?
Well,
Pogba,
we need someone else. We can't just sell Pogba and get Camavinga, who's only 18 years old.
Who can actually replace Pogba? What player out there who plays a similar way to Pogba can fill his position?
Not directly replace him, but I'd get like a Rice as well.
I wouldn't. Do you know I wouldn't get Rice because then Pogba's a box to box. I don't care. He is a box to box midfielder. He's better attacking. I mean, he's better going forward than he is defensively, but he's still a box to box midfielder with an abundance of talent. I haven't seen someone his size move his feet in a way that he does. He basically like a big Iniesta. That's the way I see Pogba. There is no football player on the planet remotely close to what Pogba can do that does his job, if that makes sense. If we get Rice, you have a defensive midfielder, a strictly defensive midfielder that's going to sit next to another defensive midfielder in Fred, because I believe Fred is ahead of McTominay in the pecking order. Then you have Bruno Fernandes. He's not a box-to-box. He's an attacking midfielder. He can play box-to-box, but you want Bruno as close to the box as possible. You don't want him 5-10 meters in front of VAR and penalty area. To replace Pogba, you have to bring in... Kovacic isn't as good as Pogba, but someone like that. You have to bring in someone like Kovacic. Kante would be great, but obviously impossible. Someone like Luka Modric. Someone of that talent who can play in the box to box with the same level or at least something realistically close to what Pogba can do. Because yeah, cool, you can sell Pogba, but if you don't replace him or if you just buy another CDM, you have no box to boxes. Jude Bellingham. If we had Jude
Bellingham, that's going to be like, is that like next year?
No, I don't think we're going to get him, to be honest. But if we had Jude Bellingham from last year, I honestly, maybe be really honest, I wouldn't mind losing Pogba for free next year, because then you have another whole year of Pogba guiding Bellingham, and then Bellingham can just naturally step into the role. But we don't have him, and he's just one person who I can see being a natural successor. It's a tricky situation to be in with Paul Pogba, and I guess the club only has itself to blame because you haven't delivered what you promised you deliver to him. You haven't bought players around him that can maybe replace him or even help him, because doesn't matter how good you are, every player needs help. Messi doesn't play by himself, he plays with a team. Ronaldo plays with a team. He gets a lot of goals because he has a team around him. Pogba needs players around him, good players, so he can do what he has to do instead of thinking, let me not do this because my guy might mess up. Let me just, you know what I mean? Same with Maguire and Lindelof. Same with Wan-Bissaka or with Lindelof. Not saying Lindelof's a bad defender, but he's just not on the same level as those two next to him.
If I was Pogba, I'd go to PSG because what they've built is that is world domination. Sergio Ramos, Marquinhos. Who's their right back?
Ashraf Hakimi.
Left back. What's his name?
I know they played Diallo, but Bernat's there. He must have been injured.
Yeah, one of those guys. I don't know. I don't think their left back is that good, but midfield, Verratti,
Pogba. Paredes. Oh yeah, Pogba.
Verratti, yeah. Pogba, Paredes. Up front, Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria. That team, they would win. They could win the Champions League, and that is what Pogba wants.
I reckon they'll play a 4-2-3-1, you know.
So, yeah, whatever formation. I feel like if I was Pogba, I'd want to go because Ramos, all those players, Ramos, Neymar, Mbappe, Pogba, Di Maria. Like, why would you not want to go there when you'll be playing with, at Man U have Sancho, Rashford, Bruno, Maguire, Varane. But the names on that PSG list are obviously much higher than the names in the Man United team.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was him, I'd go to PSG.
Yeah, I just want to get as much money for him as possible this year, or if we don't sell him, we have to get him on a new contract, even if it's just a 2-year contract. We have to get him on a new contract because I can't lose him for free twice. Can't lose £100 million player for free twice, because I think that would just perfectly sum up Manchester United in a nutshell. And we're going to doom ourselves because all the excuses will be we lost him free. We don't have the money to replace him. I don't want to hear it. We have to get money for him now or next year.
Was it Jose Mourinho that sold Smalling and Mkhitaryan?
Jose Mourinho sold Mkhitaryan. Smalling was sold by Solskjaer.
Because Mourinho posted an Instagram post of Mkhitaryan and himself. They're in the same frame, and he said football's a small world. Because obviously now he's reunited with Mkhitaryan after selling him. It was the same thing, same story as that as Mata when he then eventually came to Man U. But yeah, I think there'll be lots more transfer talk in the next week. So I guess we'll be back next week to cover all the news stories that are happening in the world of football.
Let me just get up this.
Yeah, you're going to quickly go through the fantasy league.
I was hoping he wouldn't claim his prize, but he's here. All right. I want to say massive congratulations to George Waller. He tweeted me yesterday, I think, saying, "Hello, Anton. I won your Euro Fantasy League. How can I claim my winner's jersey of choice?" I'm going to say it on the show, and I'm also going to message him just in case he's not watching. You need to show proof that you're subscribed to the channel. You need to tweet out on your Twitter, or let's do Twitter to keep it more simple, that you won the All Things Football Euro Fantasy League, and with the hashtag All Things Football, so the name of the channel. And then obviously in the DMs you can choose what top you want, and then that will get posted out to you as soon as possible.
I'm just hoping that you either get an England or United shirt.
Yeah,
that's all I hope. If I hear Liverpool, don't unsubscribe. Keep subscribing to the channel. But if I hear Liverpool,
I mean, he follows me on Twitter, which is, I guess, a good start. But I'm just annoyed I didn't win it. Obviously, he finished on 300.
Let me get the table up just so we show everyone what actually happened, how it unfolded on the final day. So we will do a fantasy league for the Premier League.
Yes. And the code for the fantasy league, I'm going to leave it in when I'm able to actually make a league, because I don't know if I can make a league right now. I'm going to leave it in the bio of the All Things Football Instagram. I'm going to put it on my Twitter, and I'm going to get him to post it on his Twitter. I'll ask you guys nicely to share it around as much as possible, because we want as many people as possible in the league. Creates drama, entertainment, and you're going to try harder to win that prize, which is going to be the same prize, a football jersey of your choice, when the league finishes next year. There's no entry fee. It's obviously free, which is even more of an incentive. You got nothing to lose. I'll post that as soon as possible. I'm going to win it though, because
before he has all these claims, let me show you that league, how the league unfolded, because I can get closer.
He said
the guy came first, 385, and then second 382. So that was the top 5. Ains came in the top 5.
Well done. There's no prize for 5th.
And then, as you can see, myself, 13th place. I mean, at one point I was like 20. I'm gonna say I was 25th, 28th out of 33. So to come 13th it shows. I didn't even say what it shows, but some people like Anton came 16th.
You know, I haven't even
looked. It's not bad. I'll teach you the ways. I'll teach you and then it's just we're not gonna go all the way down.
Yeah. We had 33 teams in that league. Sounds optimistic, but I want at least 100 in this fantasy Premier League. I'm sure we can do that. We have almost 100 subscribers. I believe we're only a few away now, so
almost a few hundred followers as well.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. We do appreciate all the support. We've only been doing this for a short amount of time, but I know I'm enjoying it myself. I love to talk about football, and I'd hope Ibs is enjoying it as much as me. I hope that you guys enjoy the content that we make, and when I eventually finish uni and go back to London, I'm gonna be in some actual football videos for the channel, and I'm gonna show Ibs how to represent the channel properly.
When I'm back from my injury, you'll see the levels, because that video, I was so injured. I really shouldn't have been playing. I was very injured, but right now,
excuses, guys.
I'm not playing football for the next like maybe 2 weeks, almost finishing the rehab. But yeah, I'll be back.
I mean, thank you guys though. As I said, I'll post the fantasy code in the description in the bio of the Instagram page, as and when I can. If you're watching this, GS Waller or George Waller, to claim your prize, do what was recommended, or I'll just DM it to you later on tonight, and we will discuss the hopeful Manchester United shirt that I really want to be buying for you. But yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
It's coming home next year.
Yeah, it is. Next year is coming home. 2022. Raheem Sterling scores the winning penalty as we lift the World Cup trophy. Harry Maguire has been promoted as captain. Harry Kane has been demoted to vice captain. And yeah, it's coming home. It's coming home. And 2021-22, Maguire is left in the Premier League.
Thank you, guys.